That's who we are. The best on the planet. Unbelievable.
I love that. It's what I love.
First of all, before we go into Motherwell, just want to say about Greg Taylor, mate. That's why the boys call him Oxwell, because he's absolutely different gravy.
You look as if you have just come straight away for the Green Brigade.
Aye, we'd have meeting at 6:30, mate. Yes, we're back with a Celtic Unrestricted View. Good evening, and it's an absolute freezer on this fine Tuesday night. As you can see, my counterpart here, our Andy Gray, is sitting with his fingers. It looks like blue as a coal by the looks of things. Because of this, currently, ladies and gents, we are -9 in Glasgow. It's Baltic. Heat and energy, everything's through the roof. Celtic's goals are through the roof, Ryan. How are we, mate? It's good to see your smiling face, mate.
All good, mate. Wee coffee to heat me up because, like you said there, it's -9 Glasgow. Big game ahead, mate. And that's 3 or 4 days or so. Next big game's coming up, mate. So happy on chat to yourself, mate, and haven't seen your smiling as well, mate. So it's all good.
Aye, it's always good to see you, mate. And as you can see, I'm sitting here with a nice big freezing cold drink of ginger because she's got the heating up full blast here. I put the heating on, I put the hoodie on because I'm in a cold kitchen. But as I say, the heating's up full. We're ready to go. But as I said, Ryan, free scoring Celtic as we are. That Celtic had 250 goals under Ange. What a remarkable achievement under a manager in such a quick time as well. I think it's 99 games, Ryan. Tomorrow's his 100th game. What an achievement that is as well. But obviously we'll go to that. But no, it's been an absolute pleasure, mate, watching this attacking domination.
Aye, before I drink my coffee, mate, I'll get into it.
Sorry, mate.
No, I just had to take a wee sip before we're going to a big rant about how he busy mate be here. He busy mate be here by Christmas and he's still here, so...
Two Santa times ago, wasn't it?
No, but no, serious, mate. The guy's been phenomenal. As you said today, as we'll get into it, a lot of people did doubt him. Maybe some of our fans doubted as well because we didn't really know about him. But then we obviously do your due diligence. You see how successful he's been. He takes over teams who maybe in bits of a rut or not really performing. Guys need to kind of get a bit of confidence, and he just puts a lot of light into a lot of teams, and he's been very successful, mate. And now you can look into what he's done in the past, and a few weeks in the league, and you can see what he's starting to do. You can see the way he's want to get his playing football. Aye, the first few results weren't the best. I think it was 3 out of 6 we lost. But for me, JP, as a fan, when you play good football, sometimes when you get beat, you go, do you know what, right? Maybe we beat with a better team. We've tried to play. It's not happened. But you can see with this team, it was coming. And then I think we all know, mate, I think the game against Mothermob at Celtic Park, I think that was the day when I think this team fully arrived, in my opinion. Again, I know a lot of people saying that wasn't maybe when the league was won, but I walked out there thinking that was it done. I really thought that was us done. Obviously, it's a lot more football to go for them, but that game for me, that'll live in my memory for a long time, I think. That game's all down to Ange as well, the way he put the team up and the way the team performed from that night. And let's be fair, mate, we've no looked back.
No, we haven't, mate. God, where would we start if we were to start looking back? There's a lot of unbroken history there, mate, and there's a lot of
Don't
a
look
lot
back
of right.
at that.
No, don't look
back
back
in
in anger.
anger. I heard you say.
There is a certain type of day look back in anger by the looks of things, but that's no yours. Couple of wee early comments coming in, Ryan. Stephen Tomlinson says, "Let's go, lads." Don't know if I've ever gone, but Stephen, but hopefully it's the paradise. Aye, hopefully it's Santa Ponza. Big man's on a bell this time, so he can give a wee shout with that one. But evening, Stephen. Nice to see you, mate. Thanks for tuning in. Big mate, Big Barry, hail boys, hail Barry. Cheers for tuning in. And he asks, where is Big OnlyFans? That is a question, guys. Now that is the question. Where is Big OnlyFans? Is he preparing for a midnight show? Is he preparing for a 10 o'clock show? Who knows? Because he's not here. So we'll leave that one to the listeners and the watchers and everybody tuning in. Where is our big friend? This is his sign, folks. If you're looking for him, have a wee look out for him, man. Look out for him. Barry, I'm sure you can start the search, big guy, since you're no amazing, right? The Kurgan says, hail, buddy. Cheers for tuning in. And our Monty says, evening, boys. Good evening, Monty. Cheers again.
Evening.
Mate. Always a pleasure, guys. Always a pleasure, Ryan, when we get guys tuning in to watch your big smiling faces, mate. I love it. Don't know about you, mate. I know you love it too, mate. You're sitting there. You can hear your rosary beads rattling about in your pocket there. Like Jimmy Calderwood sitting there with your
Jimmy.
With your big, what do you call that? Trendy off the wall clock that you can take on and off. Or what is it? Effect in it. So, that's actually a 3D thingy you've got in the wall in it. That's not a real clock.
I've not got a tan, but so that's maybe I'm a bit off with that type of fake tan stuff. But I mean, Jimmy loved a fake tan, didn't he?
I loved a fake tan. I loved a couple of sunbeds. I heard they left it on my night in Susket tan. I'm not sure about that right enough, but that was Aberdeen were away to Copenhagen that night when he done that. So and our very own Ada's tuned in with us. Hail lads, tuning in from the bus home. So Ada, nice one, mate. Have a safe journey home, mate. Well, you'll be getting docked wages for skiving, definitely. Kidding on his own bus. How's your bus get Wi-Fi? And the guy that commented on the other night saying he was on a training, didn't he? Serious modern technology, mate. It does my head on. But no, as we said, Ange and the boys, mate, it's been remarkable watching it. I agree with you on the front of the game in February last year, the 2nd of February. We knew, me and you spoke at length about this, we knew that night walking into Celtic Park, mate, you could feel that atmosphere. I think it was met today as well, just the overall feeling, we just knew something special was ready to happen. And I think what was also good was the fact that it was just a stadium full of Celtic fans as well. So, I think the only Union Jack you saw that night was the one that was left in the bin outside on the London Road somewhere. It was in one of the street bins that had been popped in, along with the cardboard cutouts, say Slippy G. There was a few of them. I felt sorry for the Clenny at that point in time, mate, because you picture the amount of built uplifted today. It was all Slippy G cardboard cutouts of the man.
Aye, but don't worry about it. They came back and cleaned it the next day, didn't they? So it's all right.
But then they sellotape GLC onto the next one, didn't they? That was funny as well. Then the next one after that was the GLC done chase for Paw Patrol's body. I seen that one as well. It was a belter.
I actually seen Roy Mackay run about Govan with a Paw Patrol mobile, man. Brilliant.
That was that's the night Gio went mental. That was his taxi home, mate.
I actually heard it's the one that gets passed down generations. So Gio gets it, Roy gets
Gio
it.
gets it, Roy gets it. Apparently it's a Dutch thing, I'm not sure. I think Arthur Newman and Michael Moles have had a shot at it as well, mate. I'm not really too sure. I think that picks him up for the airport when he came out for games and stuff like that. So, but it did when he was a manager.
That's part of the contract. You get picked up in a Paw Patrol mobile.
Aye, Paw Patrol mobile. You press a wee button on the inside of the door and it says Chase is on the case. It's just a shame none of them were on the case when they're in the job right enough, but hey ho. No, as I say, Celtic looking forward to the game tomorrow, mate. It's always a hard outing against Hearts, isn't it? It's always especially this Hearts team. They seem to have a wee bit more about them. They've got a better team, I think, than what they had last season. Obviously, a lot of these boys have experienced European football, so. But like I says, Ryan, we're absolutely relentless, and it doesn't matter who we're playing against. We're a different animal. If we're on our A game or anything close to, then you can really only see a Celtic victory, in my opinion. Just the way we're playing, the speed we play at, the teams can't get near us. Ange, listening to him earlier on, did kind of hint towards maybe making a couple of changes for tomorrow. Obviously, he mentioned that James Forrest is injured. He's picked up another muscle injury in training. Again, that might be down to the fact that James isn't playing a lot of games and he's still trying to do that rigorous training that they're going through at the moment. And things like that can always catch up with you, mate, if you're not playing regular. I do think that, these wee things and niggles and stuff like that, things that are always going to happen, especially if you're not playing, which is probably why we're seeing guys like McCarthy, Gucci. These guys have had reoccurring injuries as well throughout it, and they've not had a lot of game time. Abelgard was the same as well. But then obviously what we found out was Big Water actually put Awata's got his own brick at Celtic Park now. He just actually studied Abelgard into a wall apparently when he done it. So that's how Abelgard's actually no away on loan anywhere. He's went missing because of a tackle at Big Awata happened in training. So, but no, as I say, mate, look forward to the game tomorrow. Hopefully another good Wednesday night under the disco lights, and we could be setting ourselves up for another box ticked off, especially in the league, as we gather momentum towards the title, mate.
I think you're spot on, mate, in terms of everything you've said there. I think we heard Andy
Thanks, mate.
Halliday.
It's not often you say that about me. I feel privileged.
I don't pay many compliments these days, mate. So just take it well you can.
Definitely.
No, I would say in terms of, I think I heard that Andy Halliday saying the other day, I think if he was wanting to win a game, it would be the game on Saturday against us in the quarter-final. So the cup game. So I think Hearts are maybe prioritising the game in the weekend as well. Obviously we aren't, but I think they will. I think they're maybe going to put their eggs in the basket to try and get to Hampden. So it will still be a tough test. But if Hearts make changes, I don't feel they've got the same depth to come in and do. Like Shacklin's up front. The way Humphreys is okay as well, but he's just okay. If Kyogo's missing, you've got a Badder player, you've got Maeda player, you've got Oaken player. So our guys who, if you want to call them fringe players or if you want to call them setting the commands, they're able to come in and play just as good as some of the guys who are playing every week. So if two teams make changes, we're still going to be far stronger than what Hearts are going to be able to do. So I think Saturday's game is going to be more tougher because I think you'll see the two full bifters out on Saturday. Tomorrow, I think you'll see some changes by both teams, maybe more Hearts side than Celtic side, because I think Hearts are, like I said, I think they'll be putting their eggs maybe in one basket because unless they have an absolute mishap, they're probably going to finish third if they really capitulate and no start underperforming. So we need, I know we're 9 points ahead, but obviously we need to keep that. So we can't really take our eye off the ball. They probably can towards Saturday's game. So again, but if Snodgrass plays, if the day play the guys who are experienced and they maybe spring a surprise and play a strong team. If Shankland plays, he's got a goal threat. Snodgrass experience, he knows how to play against Celtic. He's played down south all these days, so he's a very good player. He'll cause a threat with his deliveries, etc. as well. So, in the way he's playing now, you can see he's obviously he's changed the way he's always played. But obviously Nielsen's got in a position now where he's kind of been a major part of the play. So if he's on the ball, he'll cause some hassle as well. So it will be a tough game, mate. But let's be fair, it doesn't matter who we play at Celtic Park, JP. You're expecting us to roll them there. And again, you've no divine right to win any football game, mate. But you can only comment. You can only comment on what you see and what you've seen from your team in the past. So team's full of quality, mate. It doesn't matter if it's one of the games, mate. See if Seagrass plays in goals, you're thinking, right, okay, I trust the manager. See, even if it's Scott Bain that played in goals, and you're thinking, right, there's a reason why he's playing. I trust the manager. I don't like it, but you'll trust him to do a job. But same as McCarthy comes in and plays, he'll kick the ball, but he'll do a job. That's the way we are, mate. So,
I think if Scott Bain plays tomorrow, mate, I think a lot of people will be nervous.
No, I'm just talking about in general. There's a reason why certain guys play certain games. So, they're not really, maybe in the past, if maybe like guys like Griffiths wasn't fit and he played in front of Edward and stuff like that, why is he playing? He's on form. But see now, if O starts tomorrow, you're not going to be going after nut because you know there's a reason why. Maybe ahead of Saturday, but you've got to cover to come in and play against Hearts. So I'm like you, mate. No matter who we play, you just trust that we're going to win the game. I don't think Hearts have got the ability to. In fact, anybody's not got the ability, mate, in this league to just sit defend against us for 90 minutes. Someone tried it. I know they get a man sent off, but I don't feel anybody's got the ability to defend because eventually we'll push forward, and eventually it's going to crack. We've got too much quality. I think gone on the days now, JP, where at Livingston, I know St Mirren and Kilmarnock, where you're going to get 90 minutes. I just huff and puff. I think eventually you're going to break it down. The first few games under Ange against Livingston, it was tough because he was learning how to break these low blocks down. The team were learning how to do it. They didn't know how to do it. Some of them have never probably faced it before in their life. Or these teams just defend. But now, there's a way of doing it. They're swapping the wingers, they're swapping the strikers. McGregor's going into O'Reilly's. They're swapping. And I think, JP, I don't know what you think, but I think that's one reason why we're getting so much success because they're all changing roles on the park. Like Maeda will go to the right, Jota will go to the left, and then he's bringing on Abada, and then you've got Cal Mack going forward, O'Reilly's stepping back, Hatate's going back. They're totally changing roles all the time. I think that's why they're getting a lot of joy because they're refreshing all the time, that we're moving constantly. And JP, it doesn't matter, in my opinion, mate, if you're playing amateur or you're playing professional. If you're moving all the time, and it's so hard for guys to keep up with you. Because I'm just talking through experience, right? I might have not been the best of players, but I was nippy, quick and fast. And defenders used to be like to me, Ryan, going to stop running about. Stop it. I guarantee that's the same for Maeda, the guys like that, because they must be just bombarding these guys all the time. And Hearts players are not as fit as Celtic, St Mirren's not as fit as Celtic. Nobody's fitter than Celtic in this league. We've seen it all season. We've even seen it against them in the last week here. They just couldn't cope with it in the last 15, 20 minutes. So in my opinion, mate, I'm like you. It doesn't matter who we play. If we turn up to a game, Hearts will find it very, very difficult.
Aye, I totally agree. A couple of more wee comments. Come in, one from Monty. He's predicted a lineup for us. So he's predicted Joe Hart, Johnson, Carter Vickers, Starfelt, Taylor, Hatate, McGregor, O'Reilly, Jota, Kyogo and Abada. I don't think you'll be too far away there, Monty, to be fair. I don't know, I think he could start Iwata tomorrow. I think he could potentially start as well. Another one, Kobayashi. These guys are working really hard behind the scenes, you know, and it's not going to be long before you see them getting games in the team, whether it be a rotational basis or run of games, etc. And possibly Big O as well. These guys are chapping the door. for a game as well. We've got one in for James Robertson. Evening, James. Big game tomorrow. Minimum changes should be all right. Again, James, I think Ange has learned his lesson. If you remember back to the St Mirren game in September, he made an array of changes that day, and it came back to bite us. And it was too late by the time he threw the A players, as you would call them, in the team. If you look back at the team, I mean, you had Welsh and Jens and Ralston, and that was right away. Your back four's totally more or less brand new, apart from Greg Taylor. So you're kind of, your back's up against the wall again, because you've then hit two big physical boys on a guy that's not the tallest in Welsh, and Jens, who played one or two good games, and then he sort of, I don't want to say he was bad, but he wasn't a regular performer the way you see the two lads now, Carter Vickers and Starfelt.
And sorry, Karen, but now you see Jens now in Schalke, ever since he's went, they've been brilliant.
Yeah, they've been excellent. He's made that. No, he was a good player. Listen, I'm not saying he wasn't a good player. It just shows you how good the team is when guys like Starfelt and Carter Vickers are getting a game before him.
Yep.
He was a good player. He played in the Champions League for us as well and done well. I'm not saying he was a bad player, but he was with a guy in Welsh that, in my opinion, the boy was a bag of nerves half the time when he played. I think he was feared to make a mistake. Again, could be a young Scottish mentality thing, I don't know. We've seen that with Mikey Johnson as well, a couple of wee bad performances. The fans have got on the boy's back, and before you know it, the boy's been loaned there to Portugal. And by the way, everybody that's watching in, he's tore it up earlier. Absolutely tore it up earlier. He's getting man in the match after man in the match after man in the match. He's had played in the months. He's had, I think he'd go in a month a couple of months ago there as well. So, he's doing quite well. He was asked a question about wanting to stay in Portugal. His answer to that was, there's not an option for me to stay here. I've had a conversation with the Celtic manager and I'm going back there in the summer. So Ange obviously must see something in the lad, which is why he's not even put a buy clause in his loan deal. Very similar to Barkas. I know people are going to say to me, Barkas is he's with a team that probably can't afford them. And you're probably right. But why not put an extended payment through, like a payment scheme throughout the deal? So you could pay a certain amount then, you'd pay a certain amount then, you'd pay a certain amount then. It's called an instalment plan. And you see that with a lot of deals now.
And next week it'll be £2,000.
Oh, that's the one. I knew that was coming. And the next week is £7,000. That's the full thing, knackered.
You know what I mean.
You know what I mean. That's plenty. But the same with Barkas. Exact same there with that deal. So, but getting back to the team, Ryan, this team are just relentless. You've seen it again on Sunday. The people are going like that to me, right? Aye, they got a man sent off and they fell apart. No, we brought on players at half time and it changed the game and we sprung into life. We probably didn't have the best of first halves, but we controlled the majority of the first half and we conceded a penalty. That can happen to any team. It doesn't matter. We didn't defend badly, or we conceded a poor goal, or it was wasn't one of the ones, or the keeper stood in better, or it was Starfelt's fault, or Big Vickers was sleeping, or Taylor gave a ball away, or it was just a penalty. And the letter of the law these days is that's a penalty. It doesn't matter who it is, who it's against, what team you're playing for. When it be Chelsea Juniors or if there's VAR there, that's going to be a penalty. And all the clubs have been told, Ryan. They've all been told the exact same thing. So it's not a rule for one, a rule for... That's a penalty. And 9 times out of 10, you're seeing these things where if the ball hits something, Kilmarnock get a penalty good against them for the exact same thing. As ridiculous as people think it might be.
Oh, it's
the ball hits your hand. If the ball hits your hand in the box now, it's a penalty. It might be bonkers, Ryan, but that's just that's just the rules here. They changed it after Forest didn't get that one against Hearts.
The rules and the laws.
It's mental. No, to you and I, it's mental. I mean, we've played the game, so it's nuts. But it doesn't matter. Did it affect the outcome of the game? No, because then they go and even things up when Charles Dunn gets sent off.
I think it probably enhanced us, to be honest with you, mate, because we then had to go and win the game. We then had to go and attack. We didn't. So obviously, that's us anyway. But I think sometimes it's nothing each. You can maybe just pass the ball about, right? Create a chance. But because you're 1-0 down, you then need to go and take the mantle, and you need to go and exploit them. So, and Barry, we about Charlie Nicholas as well. Barry was a fantastic player, but some of the things he says, I don't know. He says that Celtic look vulnerable. Come on, man, Charlie, what are you doing? What? He was a fantastic player, and some of the stuff he says about Celtic, he backed us up.
Yeah.
But some of the stuff, I don't know if he's just trying to play devil's advocate and put I don't know what he's trying to do there, but I seen it this morning. Like, Celtic were not one bit of shape of vulnerability against St Mirren.
Yeah.
It was like 80%, I think it was 80% possession in at least the first half. Celtic were all over St Mirren, and even seems obviously admitted that when you get into 10 men against Celtic, it's their movement and you're just fighting losing battles against Celtic.
Yeah.
11 men, but with 10 men. Come on, man.
He does commented on again saying that we have scored 6 against Hearts in the league this year. Evidently, they cannot defend against us for lengthy periods. So, no, I would agree with you there either.
Yep.
In all honesty. James Robertson's asking, have Hearts got the players that they can go full pelt in 2 games in 3 days? I don't think so. James, to be fair, you saw that in the European campaign. It didn't go as well as what they wanted it to be. And I think that was, they were playing every few days and they started getting injuries. And when you get important players in your squad injured and they're all out at the same time, it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why Celtic have got a big squad, Ryan, to deal with us. And that's obviously, that comes for the manager and the recruitment and everything that he's done, because at the beginning, mate, we were all asking, why is he buying another midfielder and why is he buying another guy, mate? Well, this is why. Because the 5 sub rule and all. And then, we're absolutely killing teams, Ryan. And you were right, mate, with players all moving. Rotations. It's the rotations throughout the team that's so hard to deal with. It's the speed and tempo we play at. And like I says, Ryan, when you make the 5 subs, you're actually no changing anything. If anything, some games you're getting faster. Because you're bringing guys like Haskabanovic, who, in my opinion, Ryan, he's far too good to be a sub.
I agree.
But it's how do you fit him in when you've got the running energy of Maeda and the trickery of Jota. Now, bearing in mind, everybody was complaining about Jota at the weekend, saying, his delivery was poor and he's not been quite right and he's not played well in the last couple of games, but he took his goal really well, and that's the reason he's in the team, in my opinion, right? Because moments in games come along, he's either part of it, sets it up, or finishes it if you watch him. He's either in the right area. Now, how many times last season did he do it? He scored the winner up at Pataudry that really kicked us off. In my opinion, that made them believe that they could go away from home anywhere. Because prior to that, we hadn't won away from home for a long time.
I think it was April or something, wasn't it? It was crazy, something mental.
It was mental, aye. And again, when you don't win away from home so long, it puts doubt in your head about, all right, is this going to be the one? Is this? No, it's not happening. No, it's not happening. So the players start to doubt themselves when they go away from home. They think, here we go, man, we're going to turn up. This is going to be another damp squib. Whereas when you get that victory and you're all together and you've all got that, camaraderie in the dressing room, and it's what a feeling that must be, mate. And you see the celebrations after the games when it happens. But Jota is vital in the kind of games, if you ask me. You look at the second game up in Aberdeen last season, where Aberdeen came back for 2-0 to 2 each. Then the one he hits into the ground and it bounces out of the goalie. Again, another vital time of that game. Boom. See that, mate? That totally deflates the team that you're playing against. It takes a life and soul away from the team when you've got a guy there who's sitting on the deck. 9 times out of 10, you're favouring the goalkeeper. In my opinion, I thought Trevor Carson was absolutely terrible for that on Sunday. Jota's on the deck, Ryan. and he pokes it with his toe,
Mm-hmm.
and it goes in. Now, I don't know what the defender's doing, but he ends up wrapped round the side netting with his leg through one of the square holes in the net. He nearly lost his boot because he's kicked the post. And it was the same with, again, the one Jota creates. The wee Kyogo nearly scored.
Mm-hmm.
Jota, the nice wee dink.
Aye.
Ryan, there's not a lot of players in our team, mate, that's got that kind of finesse about him. He does it, and he does it remarkably. Look, he's nutmeg on Ryan Kent in the cup final.
That was
Look at
delicious.
Wani back heels round the side and takes away for Lundstrom. Now, I know Lundstrom was injured, right, but even fully fit Lundstrom isn't stopping Jota for doing that. It's that sort of unique talent and skill that Jota also brings to the team when he's no playing well. Or what we think he's no playing well. But I guarantee his stats probably show Ange something else, which then Jota's picked for next week again. I just wish the fans would try and stay a wee bit calm with him, because he was getting a bit of stick, even on social media. I seen it. I think me and you had spoke about it even in the texts. It was like, oh, his delivery was poor. His delivery wasn't great. He wasn't getting by the first man. He wasn't taking his man on. Every time he tried to take his man on, the big boy Fraser was reading what he was doing. And then the other boy, the left back, is it Thierry Small?
Small.
He was kind of running him out the side and forcing him wide all the time, and he wasn't getting by him, and looked a wee bit more physical than what Jota is. And then it was just that moment, mate, that changed the game for Jota, that brought Jota more back into the game. And it gave him a bit more belief. Sometimes you need players like that, mate, because if you look at all the players we've got, and even the wingers, set them aside, right? They're all different, right? You know, they're all very different in what they bring. Abada's very direct and goes for the throat in terms of goals and shooting, and Maeda will run the legs off you, presses you really high, gives you that energy. Probably not the most technically gifted player, but he's got it in his locker, because you seen that at Easter Road when he cut inside and had a dig. You seen it at Ibrox when Morelos misplaces that pass and he runs in, takes the ball in Tavernier, takes the ball in Golson and puts it under McGregor. So he's got it in his locker. The one against Motherwell at third party takes the first touch and kills it. Lovely. Out there, that was just before the World Cup. And then he goes to the World Cup and he's come back a different player as well. Then you've got Haskabanovic, who could skin you in a phone box with flip-flops on with a beach ball full of helium, in my opinion. I think he'd nutmeg you. He would. He would nutmeg you with a tennis ball. He's that tricky. Feints to go that way, he can go that way. He's good with 2 feet. Just needs to work on his one-on-one finishing. If you look at that one, he was throwing a goalie at the cup final. And but little did we know, he promised a fan that he would aim for a lollipop she threw on for just beside the post, and he managed to hit it as well, and he won his bet with all the boys. So that was good to see. But no, I'm only kidding. But he was he needs to work on his one-on-one finishing, in my opinion. But they're all different, Ryan, and that's what brings the chemistry together as a team, because they all bring something different to the table, mate. And that's what's so good about Ange's recruitment.
No, I agree with you. Like I says to Big Jason in the weekend, after the game at the weekend, if you played football, 9 times out of 10, if you played in teams, your wingers are normally inconsistent. Obviously, at the top level, they're more consistent, but even at the top level, some guys don't perform every week. Like I say, James Forrest for me is probably one of the biggest culprits for it. In the past, he'd maybe had 3 or 4 games where he was lightning, and then he'd been missing for 3-4 games. But that's just wingers for you. Sometimes it's the same with strikers. Some strikers can be amazing after the ball and down the channels, and they might not score a lot of goals. And if you're a striker, me anyway, maybe because I was maybe main critic, but when I'm playing up front, I didn't score goals. I didn't care what else I'd done. If I didn't score goals, I was thinking, well, I'm not playing well here. I should be dropped that. But if your manager keeps playing you and keep playing you, but you're inconsistent, you know you're doing something to benefit the team. So for me, again, I'm one of Jota's biggest fans. I thought it was absolute honky tonk. It was honky tonk. It was so poor, and everything he done, it was just one of the games that nothing was going to happen from. And then they get the goal, bit of stroke of luck. But listen, sometimes in football you need a break, and that break we go. Then obviously for me, that was it. You just knew the game was won. You were going to go and get 2 or 3 goals. So that was my moment. It helped them in the game, but I think I don't think you'd be surprised if he's not playing tomorrow. I think maybe might be kept for the weekend's game. But like you've just said, it doesn't matter who plays because it all bring different qualities and different attributes to the team. So Abada, again, I like to think he'll be getting a game tomorrow because I think he deserves to start because he's been at the bench now and he's been very good. But this is where we don't know. We've no got ins and outs. These players may be getting told, listen, for 3 or 4 games, you're on the bench. The next 3 games, you're starting. We don't know about all this, so we're thinking, why is he not playing? Like Matt O'Reilly says, obviously, some of the fans are saying he's not on form, and he came out today and basically says, look, there's reasons why, personal reasons, etc., difficult situations. Like me and you have said for months and months and months on the podcast, mate, we as fans are only tributable to see what happened behind the scenes. And like I've always says, it was for that interview when I spoke to Sam a long time ago, ex-Celtic player Sam Wardrobe, and he spoke to me saying sometimes it was during the 10-in-a-row season, guys like Shane Duffy, etc., either playing poor, but there could be reasons why mentally know there could be stuff happening behind the scenes with family, and we don't get that information, so we only see what's on the park. And like I've always said, mate, see if you're trained bad, you're probably yourself, mate, when you played. If you've trained bad all week, just maybe 2-3 times a week, etc., you're not going to start the confident because I've not prepared properly all week. So these happens to players as well, and I think sometimes we are maybe too critical. I'd probably say I've took a step back now. No, because we're doing this, mate, but I think because you get older and you speak to people and you speak to some of these guests and you realise that sometimes there's reasons why they're inconsistent, they're not playing well, and I think maybe I think the media don't know that as well. The media are hammering about players, about different situations, and then they find out about it, and then they need to come out and apologise. So I think, like you say, there's reasons why guys don't always play well, but I thought Jota was poor. But there's reasons why he keeps playing him, because he can come up with flicks and tricks, and the ball's in his box. He's so quick at his feet. But the only thing I think, again, this is not a comparison to Ronaldo because he's never near him. That's just ridiculous. I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is when Ronaldo went to Man U, his first few weeks and few months, he was so greedy, he was doing things wrong, and he was just trying to do it all himself, and the wee flicks and tricks. There's times when to do it and times not to do it. And I think Jota eventually learned that when there's time to do wee flicks and it's 3-4 nothing up, knowing you're 1-0 or you're 1-each or drawing the game or you're getting beat, you do the simple things, and then when you get a bit more comfortable, you maybe showboat and show a bit of trickery and entertain the fans. I love all that. I love players showboating, and I love players taking the mickey. People say it's disrespectful. I think it's just guys showing their class. It's guys showing what they've got. It's guys entertaining. See if you think like Edward, right? We all know that Craig Gordon for me was a fantastic goal for Celtic. He didn't lie that Odds and Edward chipped him because he probably thought it was disrespectful because he played against him. I loved it. It's a guy showing he's confident. To do that in a cup final, by the way, is unbelievable. See for a player to Panenka a penalty, to be so confident to do that, it's amazing, mate. So, but I agree with you in terms of the wingers, mate. They bring so much to the team. They've all got different tactical sense. They've all got different qualities. They all bring different things. And I think it must be, honestly, mate, obviously, we've spoken to a few guys that have played in the game. But we've not spoken to anybody who's actually played in this league at the moment against a Celtic team properly.
Yep.
And it must be, mate, I'd love to talk to some guy who's played against this team because it must be so hard that they're so quick, and the change of direction, the transition, the play, rotations, it's just... But you see, watch the game, JP. Like you see Hatati's here 1 minute, he's here, he's there, Maeda's there, he's there. And imagine playing against that. Now, we are seeing it for the stands thinking they guys are so quick. But then see when you go closer down, I'm maybe bit of a privileged position, but some fans are right at the back, they can't see. I'm right down at the front and see when you see how quick the guys are. Now, the guys are very good, like your Jotas, Maedas, Abadas, Haskabanovic. And then you go to Europe and you see your Mbappe's, your Neymar's, and you're thinking, we've got very average players. and that's the reason for me, JP, that I came up with that was with Scott Brown at his pop with Rodgers. I thought it was brilliant. People have got a lot of things to say about Scott Brown. He was not very good. He was just a hard man. He was just this. He was just that. Scott Brown, I'll back Scott Brown to the hilt. I always will until the day he's no one Celtic's memory, which will never be. Scott Brown for me was a very, very good footballer. He was so underrated, not by Celtic fans, but by outsider Celtic, the Scottish media, even Scotland fans. Obviously, I'm a Celtic fan, but I'm a Scotland fan. I think some Scotland fans were underrated in terms of his ability. Then when he came back against England and he played well, and similar to Scott Brown, when he came out of Celtic, I thought you missed a lot. Maybe not his last year, but when he came up against the guys in Europe, like the game against PSG, your Verratti's and Rabiot's, you're thinking, he's average, man. he's compared to, he's no average, but compared to the guys, that just shows you to get to their levels, you need to be unbelievable. And we're thinking these guys are unbelievable. And then you look, imagine watching Neymar and Messi every week, Rabiot, Verratti when he played, with it. Imagine that midfield. We're saying that about Hatate and McGregor. Now, we're thinking they're ballers. And then you see the guys are thinking, wow. And this is what I'm saying about us progressing in Europe. This is why it's so hard for us to progress in Europe, because we can't attract that ability of Rabiot, Verratti and your Fernandez's and Casemiro's. But we think these guys are amazing. And this is why I love football, mate. This is why I love us getting to Europe, because you see these guys playing every week. And then we go to see them and you're like, wow. It's a different kettle of fish. And I think, again, this is why I get a bit, I know I'm getting a bit off topic, but it's leading to what I'm trying to say. I think this is why I get frustrated when some fans from Scotland,
that's why we call you Andy Gray, mate.
like your St Mirren's, your Aberdeen's, whatever, they don't fill our stadium, right? I'm not saying that we are world-class players, etc., right? But see, if I was a St Mirren fan and I knew Jota's come to play today, McGregor's come, I would want to go and see him play. I would want to go and see him play. Like, see, I love going to see Celtic, right? Stephen Real Madrid came to Celtic Park. As much as I love Celtic, I'm going to see Benzema play. I'm going to see Toni Kroos play. See if we get beat. We get beat. But I want to see these guys play football, because, in my opinion, mate, that's why you love football. And I think sometimes we undersell our game that way, because the fans, I totally get you go and watch your team. You might not want to go and see your team get beat, but maybe take for a coaching point of view, for an educational sense, even Rangers players, right? We might not think they're on their level, but your guys like Lundstrom, your Kents, etc., they're better than other guys. So they're the second best team in Scotland. They're better quality players. So maybe go and take something for guys like Kent. I don't know what you can take from them. That's just your opinion. But I think that's maybe that's something I could say to you, mate. What do you think? Do you think maybe we undersell our game in terms of it's maybe go and watch your team and that's it? But when the bigger guys come, that's when I think you maybe should go and pay your money and just go and see what's out there in terms of talent.
I definitely agree with you, mate. I think we do. It's a typical Scottish mentality, I think, Ryan. I think we do undersell ourselves, and I think we don't have a lot of confidence in ourselves when we're trying to talk about ourselves and promote ourselves and, sell our own brand. You hear a lot of people saying, it's got to be Sky or BT, it's for TV company. Why? Just because they've got a wee bit of money. Sky don't believe enough in Scottish football, which is why we get about a million adverts when any of our games are on the telly.
It's like 30 seconds, it's back to an ad again.
That's what I'm saying. I'm surprised we get to watch a game without an advert breaking in. But you were talking there about players and fans looking to, who you're playing against, and it's mental. Because we do, don't we? It's a true saying. When Iniesta and all the kind of guys are coming to Celtic Park, I know you're going to see Celtic, but reality, you've paid for your money, you've paid for your ticket. sorry, you've paid your money for your ticket, put my teeth in now, to go and watch these guys as well. If you don't, mate, you're kidding yourself on. We're all ardent Celtic fans, but if you're saying, oh, you're not looking forward to seeing Messi or Ronaldinho or Rivaldo, you know, I'm just rhyming off. I've been lucky enough. I've seen all these guys in the flesh. I'm just rhyming off who I've seen in the flesh at Celtic Park. But Cristiano Ronaldo, Iniesta, Paul Scholes, Ryan Giggs, guys are world class, Ryan. These guys are a different level.
Yep.
And if you're saying that you're not going to see these guys, you're kidding yourself on. You really are. You're no, as you said, you're not learning anything. Then you're just going to games and that's you. You're bouncing on to the next one, and you're not really learning anything. And as an opposition sort of fan, guys for St Mirren, and you'll get these guys in there that are about that. They'll turn up to Tannadice and Pataudry, and albeit they are Aberdeen fans, but they also want to see guys like Callum McGregor in the flesh, guys like Jota, Kyogo, Hatate, Carter Vickers. Because if you don't, make you're kidding yourself on.
I think on that,
they're the best in the league, but you picture being not just a player doing against it, you picture being a manager against it.
Sorry to pardon me, but that's...
You end up missed it.
I don't know what you think as well. Aye.
This is the stakes. This is the kind of stakes this Celtic team can actually get you in.
No, but
he's there. Ian Beale.
Ian Beale. No, sorry about me, but it gets to your point. Do you think as well it's actually good for because I don't think that obviously me and you play grassroots football. We played out in the street 10, 20 mans. We kind of learned our trade. Then you go into obviously we were provincial, you into the pro youth set up at Cardiff, etc. But most guys in Scotland, you start off playing with your pals out the street, and then you play barter code, and you decide that's not for you, and then you go and play football. And you learn through jumpers and bins and parks, and even at school when there's no ball, you played with a plastic bottle. And for me, I think at the games, like your point, I'll put it back to you, what you were saying there. I just thought I'd mention because that's in my head. I think it'd be good for, say, the adults and they're taking their kids to go and see their team, Aberdeen St Mirren. But imagine a wee boy and you're maybe seeing one of these guys like your Jotas, your Abadis, who might be going, but I'm not sure it's going to happen. But these guys might go boof to maybe Chelsea's, Man U's, Valencia's, whatever. And you can say to your dad, Barry, mind I seen him at Pataudry 5 years ago, what a play he was.
Exactly.
And these wee guys might go, oh, I like that turn, I might go and try that. Just because it's a different educational purpose, you know what I mean?
Yep. Like I says, mate, you've got to, that's something else. You call it broadening your horizons.
That's a big one, by the way.
If you go, you like that one? You like that one? I had that up there for you tonight. I've got other stuff up there, but I'm not going into that now. It's just after 9 o'clock. I can't really get into that too much now.
Like they say, mate, strike when the iron's hot.
Strike when the iron's hot, aye. Just don't mix that up for the phone and go to answer it, mate, if it's plugged in. Have a different noise altogether, that. But,
feel the burn, Steve.
Feel the burn. Feel the burn, lads. Feel the burn. That's what Big Ange says to all the opposition. Feel the burn. Cut our wee comments coming in. Here, one for Ross Millen. Hail, boys. Superb show as always. Hope you are well. Thanks for tuning in, Ross. Cheers again for the compliment, mate. Josh Turner from Facebook has commented in. It says, don't know if you agree, but if Jota starts on the left, he gets into the game better and quicker as it suits his style. Whereas when he's on the right, he can't play the way he wants and he can't cut in on his weaker side as well as his strongest side. What's your thoughts? Josh, I see what you're saying. You kind of get a different... everybody's kind of said that, mate. It's common knowledge. I think you get a kind of different Jota if he's on the left-hand side. But again, mate, we all thought we were blessed when we saw that in terms of Jota on the left. But how can you take Maeda away from it? Look, see, now that you've seen Maeda there and you see the running determination that wee guy gives you, even if he's not having his best of games, that's something that's guaranteed, Josh. That's something you get off him straight away as he's running. And see that alone, mate, that is a massive, massive weapon that kills teams. Especially when you've got somebody like Tavernier who cannot keep Waynes out of close. You can run at him all day. His bottle will crash. It'll sound like a Greek wedding between him, Bobby Boucher, and Big Connor through the middle, and Big Betty Davis at Sarah No. It sounds like a Greek wedding. Smashing everywhere. Plates, a lot, records, everything, you name it, everything you want. A few things have been smashed in the last couple of years. I think the last cup final there was a few tellies getting smashed up, I know, mate. But definitely, Maeda's running power is a massive weapon above everything else that we could possibly offer at that side. That's just my opinion. Ryan, you want to allude to anything?
No,
mate?
I think I kind of do agree with the comment there. I think Jota is better on the left. I think Maeda's running peppers. I think I put my teeth in and all. I think his running power is very vital to the.
That's if I don't give you any of my ginger, mate. The old grander out the Iron Brew advert. Give some sin, go on.
I'm actually no bag of fizzy juice, mate, so when I'm hungover. But that's been a long time since I've been hungover, to be fair. But no.
It's diluting juice, water, fizzy juice, you name it, mate. You know, until you get to Wally's in your gut, mate, you're not getting any of my juice.
But in terms of that, I would say Maeda's running power is vital to what Ange wants to do. I think the way Maeda plays, he actually, and it's just my opinion, people might disagree with me, I think Maeda's the way he plays, it's actually suited to playing away from home. When you want to battle, you want to press teams away from home, and you might need to defend, and he's able to get back more than Jota and Abada, I would say. It was probably my biggest critic of Abada and Jota when they first came in, which he didn't really defend. They were more Abada. Abada, for me, when it was him and Ralston, he was far too far up the park, and he gave Ralston so much effort to get back and defend because he kind of sold himself the first bit. That was us getting used to the inverted fullbacks. But I kind of agree with the comment there. I think Jota is better on the left, but no, I think I can agree with him. I think he is better on the left. But if he plays on the left, then it does take obviously Maeda's side away. But when you swap him, Maeda does the same job. I think no matter. I think Maeda's, people might disagree with me again, but I think Maeda's still there. Sometimes he's kicking the ball at the park and he frustrates me sometimes. I'm like, you've just done an amazing run, you've cut it back, you've done brilliantly, and then now you're running the ball at the park. I'm thinking, Jesus Christ. But he doesn't give up.
The game's not even started yet, and he's just lumped the ball right out of the park.
I noticed in the cup final, he done it 2 or 3 times against Tavernier. He ran the ball at the park. I'm thinking, oh my God. But then he does something amazing because he keeps at it. And that's why these guys are playing the level they are, because they make a mistake, they don't dwell on it. Self-JP, when we played, you guys outside of the park, probably be Neds and guys who would give you abuse for miskicking the ball, and your coaches would give you a bit of drip. And your head went down sometimes. Oh, right, okay, right, I'll do it again. But these guys have got 60,000 just about every week, and they go home it. And that's why, for me, that's why some of these guys make it, because you can, right, okay, get home it. Be the wee man up front, Kyogo, missed a chance. Sometimes we're getting a wee bit of, but he keeps at it, he scores a goal. So that's why these guys are at the top level. But the comment you're making yourself, I kind of agree with both comments here.
Another one just on the subject, obviously before we move on, is from Joseph Agnew, who's commented in. Good evening, Joseph. Hail, boys. For me, Jota looks like he's playing for himself and much more as an individual at times. Jota looks a bit timid and scared at other times. He is brilliant, but he just lacks consistency. It's a kind of story in the life of wingers, Joseph, in my opinion, mate. It's a position on the park that 9 times out of 10, mate, it's kind of hard to maintain the same level as you did the game before. James Forrest coming in out of the call, scored a hat-trick against Hibs. And again, he was, just because of the manager and everything else, he's working hard, but he's back out the team the next game. Or the next game, he's not able to emulate that. Everybody expects that of him because that's who we are. That's, as Celtic fans, Ryan, we're criminal for it. When you see that performance, you go, yes, here we go. He's back at it on Saturday, and then he doesn't perform like that. And before you know it, it sounds like us having a Greek wedding, because there's all sorts of things getting smashed.
I think now I'm a bit more wise out of that, because again, people who listen to the podcast will probably know that I'm no James Forrest's biggest fan. in terms of maybe now, but obviously there was a few games this season, he got a hat-trick and then he played well. Some fans are saying, right, all right, I'm like, he's still got to do it again this season. The pass for me is, the pass has been brilliant in terms of what he's done, his accolades, etc. But I always think James Ford is flat to deceive. But that's because, again, he's a winger. And wingers do flat to deceive. But I may as well just put it out. I don't think he's going to play a lot for Celtic again. I think it'll be maybe a start here and there, 15-minute cameos, 5-minute cameos. Even games now when we're 3-4, nothing up, he's not even getting on. And for me, JP, I think that kind of tells your story. It's just my opinion. As a fan and for playing the game, if you're not getting on with 5-10 minutes to go and your team is winning games comfortably, then when are you going to actually get a lot of game time? Because for me, listen, anybody who played to me, some teams I was on the bench for a good few weeks, and then you go to call, you're back in again, and you kind of, again, maybe because I didn't play at the top level, my attitude was, if I'm on the bench every week here, why am I turning up? I'm not going to be playing. I don't know if that creeps into these players. I don't know, but I can only be honest with me. But when I'm basically playing and I'm not getting home when our teams are winning, you do start to think to yourself, right, when am I going to play here? Do I need to move on? Do I need to get a loan deal or whatever? Because people might say, I know he's Celtic daft. I know he is. He's a Celtic fan. But he is only 31 or so, JP. He's nowhere near totally finished. He's still got a lot of years in him. But I think maybe at the end of this year, he might need to reevaluate his playing time. Unless he's happy with the manager and he goes, look, James, you might play 15 games this year. He signed that
new contract, didn't he, as well? So
he might be happy with that. We don't know. We're no privy to what he's been told. He might be playing 15. He might be playing 20. He might play. We don't know that. These could be deals. They could be things in his deal, mate. But I agree with you on that. I totally agree with that comment, mate. I agree with you.
Aye, no, so they are. But obviously, as we move on, you mentioned Abada earlier as well. My opinion, mate, any guy that can get a guy to do this mid-game should never boot my team, in all honesty. If you can get your opposition sitting down and just admiring what you've just done in the middle of a game, then you should win a start lineup most weeks, in my opinion. But obviously, as we move on, mate, one thing I wanted to mention, Ryan, is it's became a small talking point among your fans, is this wee number here. It's looking like this is going to be the... And by the way, before they asked, no, that isn't my wardrobe, and it's certainly not a cupboard within my house that I've got that hanging up in. As you can see, it's a JD sports hanger, and it does look like inside a stockroom somewhere. I'm assuming it's one of the JD shops. But the jersey itself is it's quite interesting, right? Obviously, you get that bottle green sort of look. Badge is a cracker, in my opinion. It's the same as the black strip they brought out with the kind of the sort of green through it as well. Belter. They also brought the green. There's another green one similar to that, but the tricolour throughout the collar and the sleeves. I think you need to be a brave man to be walking through any Glasgow streets with that on most days. Should that be one of the 4 strips? And we're led to believe that it's supposed to be getting announced to be out this month. So much so that I think Celtic, I read something that knew, if, by the way, this isn't rumours, I'm not spreading rumours, this is just something I've heard through the grapevine, that Celtic could potentially be wearing this against Hearts on Saturday. Has anybody heard that, guys? Anybody that's watching us, they know. Have any?
I heard it was against. I heard it was against Hibs.
Is it against Hibs at Celtic Park?
Aye, but again, it's only through grapevine. I don't
right.
Know if it's
okay.
gospel.
So maybe I've misheard what I've heard, and obviously it's Hibs I've meant to have heard. So right. Again, okay.
Mate, I don't know if that's gospel. I'm only seeing it like you.
I've also heard that as well. So anybody that's maybe watching us, if you know more about it, feel free to comment in, because it's quite intriguing. But the tap itself, mate, I think it's an absolute belter. I don't know about you, Ryan. I say, mate, I think I'm going to be walking, especially if I stay in Cumbernauld Road, I'm going to be walking down to the game and you've got to bypass.
No, I think in terms of
Duke Street wearing that.
in terms of the strip, mate, I think it's a belter, but you're gonna get people commenting.
We've got a wee comment in for James Robertson. Hibs
Hibs.
at St Pat's Day. Right. Okay.
Right, okay.
All right. Cheers,
I
James. Thanks for that, mate.
I think it's a beautiful tap, mate. It really
Yes.
is. But you're going to get people, obviously, because of the tricolour, people saying this and that. But again, I'm taking not to do with that. It's not to do with me. I'm just looking on the strip, and I think the strip's nice. But I'm actually made a training tap guy. I prefer the training gear. I think it's more comfortable. Things are getting tighter these days, mate. And I'm no football player anymore, so I think the training gear suits me better to these skin tight stuff. But in terms of the strip, mate, no, I think it's really nice.
Well, I'm definitely hoping it's no skin tight because I've got the other jerseys in my wardrobe as we speak. That's certainly not my wardrobe, but I'm hoping it's no a skin tight top because me and a Cameroon top just when they go together, I'm afraid.
But when you're commenting there, mate, I think it's a nice strip, and I think a lot of fans. Again, mate, I think people need to realise as well, it's all commercial. It's all to make money off us as well. And it's not just about, all right, we'll put a new strip out for the fans. The thing as well, see like any pricing that comes out, that's down to Adidas and JD, whatever. That's
a contract, isn't it? You've signed a contract. The club have signed a contract
aye.
with Adidas, and it's them that making the strip, so
Celtic
they hold all the aces.
Celtic don't make the prices. It's Adidas and Nike, whoever it sells. It's up to them and they shop it deal. Celtic don't really have a say in how much they charge. Well, I don't think they have, through my knowledge. I could be wrong, but it's down to obviously the pricing. But that again, that if a new strip these days, JP, you're talking about 70-80 quid or something for tapping. It's that usually that used to get you a full strip. 70 quid, 60 quid, that usually get you the full strip. A wee guy knew that's just getting you a pair of socks sometimes. So, but in terms of the strip, mate, I like it. I think if the club do bring it out and that is the case, I think Adidas will make good money off it because it will sell out, and I think it will sell out in a certain country.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think there's any question or anybody would even need to ask what one he's talking about because I think we all know the country he's talking about. But we've got an interesting comment from Patrick McLaughlin. He's commented, "An evening, Patrick," and he said the last time they brought an away top out, it was in March 1995 at Hampden, and the strip flopped badly. To be fair with you, Patrick, I don't know if you remember that pink monstrosity thing we wore at one night. Stuart Armstrong scored the winner at Rugby Park. But anything's got to be better than that, mate. And it must have been really bad if you're saying it flopped badly then. I cannot remember the... Oh, yeah, I do, because he's alluded to what it was. So it was a white one with the green and yellow swishes across it. Yeah, I remember that. Ryan, I think it's a bit before your time, mate.
I was still playing with Action Men at that time, so...
Yeah. Still watching Super Mario Brothers and stuff on a Saturday morning.
I was watching Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo and Count Duckula.
Yeah.
Thundercats. But the jersey they wore on Sunday, I don't know about MD here, but I thought I don't like that.
I don't like it either.
I don't like it. No, I really don't like it. And I think I don't know if James has actually commented in again, but he's commented in something interesting. So he says shorts £55, shirt £100, socks £15. That's quite a lot of money. Now, James, are you talking about that green, the one that me and Ryan are talking about, this potentially the new one, or are you talking about a former jersey that were brought out? Because again, I've only ever seen the jersey photo. Mm-hmm. I've not seen anything to do with pricing or what it was going to cost or anything at all. But maybe James is the sales rep for Adidas. Who knows? Maybe that's what he's got to be. Is that just for your Gary's, James? Is that what you're meaning? Is that just for your car boot sale you're running there, mate? You can let us know as we go. And he said yes. So I'm assuming James is a. So we've got our own wee Del Boy unrestricted view on it now. So. Anybody that wants to know pricing, just contact our James here. He'll let you know. And maybe he does deals for... He might do deals for Mother's Day. I don't know if he's doing any deals, James. You can let us know about that as well, mate. Last thing in the pod in the night, mate. Obviously, Ange is he's through a stain right across the pond, mate, and it's rippled all the way across the city because he's now kind of let the cat out of the bag and saying that, well, it's a well-known saying as to we never stop, mate, and he has now set a cat amongst the pigeons and says that his recruitment's well underway now for the summer. So he's already got people lined up for coming in the summer. Music to your ears, but it's kind of Phantom of the Opera stuff for other ears. I think people can hear that big worrying organ sound through their heads.
I think other ears don't even know what's happening with their players next season. I mind recruitment. So
no, I think they're looking at trying to bring in bingo players just to make up the numbers now. But again, they're looking at a fence at somebody else's junkyard. So we're not want to do that here, Ryan. We're trying to look in our own grassy lawn, as we would call it, and it's beautiful now. So,
she's here,
like I
and
says,
she's beautiful.
Yeah, definitely. And then obviously we've got a wee bit of Ange's presser. So I'll play that as well. I thought this was quite good as well. Ange has obviously got him eating out his hands. And this is what he had to say. There's a wee clippy what he had to say today.
Ange, could you see yourself here for another 100 games? Would you like to be here for another 100 games?
Can you see me here for another 100 games, mate? Are you a good judge of that?
Well, it's up to yourself. Given the success...
Well, it's not up to myself. It isn't, because no manager lives in isolation. We all have, we all work with people. We all have organisations we work for. So it's never... there's no manager that will sit down and say, well, I will be here. It's not our decision sometimes, mate. So that's why I consistently have always said that I don't think about those kind of things. What I think about is my responsibility at the moment.
Brilliant.
So he's brilliant answer, superb, mate. I think he's kind of he treats him with contempt, doesn't he? He's sort of brilliant at it, and I think he's more or less saying there, anything can happen in football, and a bad run of results before you know it, you're on a shaky nail and you could potentially be out the door. But he's also kind of, can you see me here for another 100 games? That could maybe mean that he hasn't gone anywhere anytime soon. So I can't see him going anywhere anytime soon, mate, because he wouldn't be saying in one breath that he's looking to the summer. The board wouldn't be backing him to allow him to be that proactive if they really deep down knew Ange's other plans, what deep down were to move on in the summer. So I think he's more or less answered that there in that wee short clip, more or less for the guy that was asking him a question, right?
He's brilliant, mate. Listen, just a new manager, look at his response compared to the other side. The other side of green headlines, he's just blunt. Listen, shut up, basically. Like, you're asking silly questions, I'll give you a silly answer. He's greeting the other side about finances, and he's just on the door. You need to give him time and this and that. And Ange is just saying, listen, I'll be here as long as... Basically, what he's saying is, I'll be here as long as the board want me here and the fans want me here. That's the way it's coming across. And let's be fair, me and you are no silly, mate. They're full of that, mate. Full of it. Me and you are no daft, mate. And a lot of Celtic fans aren't daft. When it comes to Ange, we all know that if somebody massive does come calling, he will have a think. He's got to have a think because he's a football manager and he's got to have ambition. So see if a club, this is just me talking maybe a bit of gobbledygook, I don't know, but see if somebody like Arsenal come in or Man City or your abroad, say Valencia's or whatever, I don't know, somebody big abroad, I know Valencia, I know doing well, but years gone past with a big name. Just say somebody like that was to come in and they've got European football, he's got to have a think because he's a football manager. We love him, but at the end of the day, he's no, he obviously is one of us, I know, but he's no one of us in terms of blood and all that, and Celtic, he's a manager, so he will have a think. Yeah. But right now, all the vibes we're getting off him is he's here for a while. The only time he's going to leave us it's maybe an all-inclusive holiday back to Greece or to Spain or Santa Ponsa to join in with all the crowd. He's only gone for a holiday and he's back this summer to prepare. He's allowed to prepare now, so if, I've still got to say if, you win the league and say you do beat Hearts on Saturday, you do go into a semi, you do win the big thing that maybe a year and a half ago was probably never going to be spoken about again. Maybe another treble, right? Maybe it's you've got to talk about it because you're in a quarter final and you could get to 2 games away before it, right? The Scottish media are going to have him for every single job in the summer, every job that pops up. The Watford job, the West Brom job, the Huddersfield job will pop because Walnock's not there. At the end of the season,
First Minister of Scotland.
First Minister of Scotland. He'll up for Sunak's job soon. Honestly, every job gone, the media will be calling for it. So, and I think, listen, we all know the media are scared. Roger Hanna tipped John Suter to be Player of the Year. That tells you everything you need to know. That tells you everything you need to know. I think Roger Hanna's actually all right, by the way, but it tells you the opinions they think about Celtic. Last bit I'll mention about this is maybe we can talk about it every single day if we could. Why are these pundits just realising now that Celtic are a decent team?
Yeah,
they're relentless and their players are quality. They've got strength and depth. They can attract just about any player in terms of compared to any other player. The Ange is brilliant. Why is it taking one cup final for all this to come? That's what I want to ask anybody in the comments who's maybe not a Celtic fan, listeners, I don't know. Anybody from outside of Scotland or Celtic, why are you talking about this now? We're seeing this every week. We're not lying when we tell you we're very good. Maybe we go up to the next level, European football, JP. Maybe we're not as good. But domestic-wise, nobody will need us. In my opinion, it's just my opinion. As long as Ange is at Celtic, nobody will touch us. You might lose a cup. You might lose a few games. But in terms of the full league, we've got better. Like I said to you, and like you've said, I know a few weeks ago, and I put it in TikTok, and I got a bit of jet for a few people. We're better in every capacity. Manager. Oh, Barry, here's a wee stat. Apparently, as it Kent and somebody else, they've got the most successful dribbles. That's another trophy to the Rangers cabinet. Celtic are 9 points ahead. 1,000 goals, I think that is, plus. But yet, they've got the best goalie, the best midfielder, the best striker, and the best defenders, and now the most successful dribbles. It's mental. I just don't know. It's dribble. It's absolute dribble.
But I've not told you there, Ryan. It's a dribble down their chin, mate. It's not a dribble with a ball. It's not a dribble with our wingers. It's a dribble down their chin. They're the best at that because they're full of this. These magical disco biscuit tablets that they are on, and they're popping 5 a day. Sometimes they're even popping 6, depending if he's got a post-match or a pre-match conference or a presser before the game. This helps him get through the day because he found them in Brother Pedro's drawer. And the wee drawer was a lock and key. He found the key, opened the drawer, and it was like a key to Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. They were all lying there for him. The only thing that's missing off this guy is he's not been in bushes yet arguing with people. He's out today again. He's out today again asking for fan loyalty. He's asking for fans to be with it, stop putting up banners about the club. And
do you want to know why that is? Because there's another share issue coming, there's another loan coming. Yep. He's trying to say to the fans, you need to bear with me because we've no money.
Yep.
They need to realise that Celtic are
season
so far
tickets
ahead.
Are up for renewal soon, I know.
That's why they're doing it, because they're going to film all the group now. Kent's in contract talks, Morelos in contract talks. You've got journalists saying he's away to Burnley, he's away to Leeds, he's away here, but he's going to maybe get a new deal. And the last part I'm going to say on this as well, mate, because I know you want to end the pod tonight, because I know we've kept ourselves a long time, I know, mate. For me, why are these respectful pundits getting paid a job? They see these games every week. They're privy to seeing training sessions sometimes, and they see the teams and they speak to the managers. Why are they still coming out and saying that Rangers are maybe close and they're not as far away? And why are they not actually asking the manager of the Rangers or Aberdeen, etc.? How good is? No, I know they might not be able to do it because of their job, but why? Just be honest and say, look, how good is Celtic? how far away do you think you usually are to Celtic and other teams in Scotland? Because that's the questions I'd like them to ask, because it's the truth. Like, don't beat about the bush and just say, oh, like Michael Beale, oh, Celtic are just a wee bit far. If you just imagine being that your manager and he's saying to you, oh, to the public, oh, Celtic in good form and we're a wee bit behind them and we need to buy starters. But then he's got to go into his dressing room and say, go and win games for me. People can't say that's reserve psychology, because for me,
he
that's
said the league was finished in February as well.
But then he's got to go and say to his team tomorrow, go and beat Hibs. Go and get me a Scottish Cup final. Now, John Lundstrom, we need to push them close. Oh, dearie me. That's the guys in your dressing room that you need to fight for. That's not a guy that I want in my trenches, by the way. He might look at players and go, oh, you scared of me. But on a football park, he might put a wee tackle on. But in the dressing room, JP, you played football. Other guys probably in the comments have played football. If you've got any weak links in your dressing room, you won't win trophies. I'll tell you that.
Well, the thing is, the only thing scary about John Lundstrom is his smell of BO. That's the only thing scary about him. And I've heard that through the grapevine. There's plenty of players stood beside him. That's the only thing scary about him, because, my God, he's another one that just loves chatting. He loves a gab. We all love a gab, but these guys love a gab in mysterious ways that you've never saw it before in your life.
And also, it's the 2-year anniversary of winning the COVID Cup.
Oh, that's right. So that means it's 2 years ago for the 1 week.
And they all thought that Dave King says they were going to forward a pack of cards.
Dave King, you're better with a line.
But Dave King doesn't know that cards are solid. They don't move.
Better with a line, King. You look at her, you look at her squad, their boys played today and get whipped. And you're looking at John Shooter, your wee Turkish delight, Yilmaz, and was it Leon King?
Aye, he played. These
are all guys that are for the first team, and they get scalped 3-1 with their boys. And some of the young boys have not played for our first team yet. So, I don't know, mate. I think some of these guys, it's part of their contracts when they start working with these media outlets that they, that's what they speak about. And that's the things that they've got to say. I think it's all scripted for them to get people to phone in their phone-ins and people to buy their papers. And because you cannot, nobody in their right mind can be that silly. Honestly. Especially the ones that have played the game and then maybe went into punditry after it. The guys like Roger Hanna and stuff like that, you better be David Hanna. But guys like Roger Hanna, he never played football, did he?
Don't know.
Well, if he did, then it might have been a game of fives behind the school or something like that. I don't know. But he's not played at a good level, in my opinion. And this is a guy trying to give his honest opinion on a professional game, right? And he's getting paid of age because he's on the Clyde One Super Scoreboard panel. He's been on there for quite some time. And he's watched football for a long time. So even in that role, surely you've got to develop your own sort of mindset, skills, everything else. And you've watched Celtic under Ange Postecoglou. You've watched Celtic for years. Celtic have dominated Scottish football predominantly, probably since Martin O'Neill.
Is it 17 out of 22 trophies or something?
Yeah. You've got a guy who sits at a ton of Heaton party with Matt McGee and Hugh Keevins eating cold beans. Sitting saying it's parcel in terms of the title. It's no. How can it be? Celtic are gone for potentially 4 trophies out of the last 5 up for grabs to have won. So, and these guys are tapping Rangers to win the league at the beginning of the seasons. Before they've even saw anything to do with recruitment or, in my opinion, Ryan, it's either you're doing it as a wind-up or you're just that silly that you can't help yourself. Because
think
coming across to us as Celtic fans and guys that can look at things objectively, because we're not just, we talk about Celtic, but we also talk about Celtic if things need to be said and things, that we're watching and we're not happy with. We're happy to say that because we're not deluded enough to sit here and say things are going well when they're not. Or tip Celtic to win something when you deep down, the reality is they're not good enough to win it. That's like us coming on and saying, yes, here we go. Celtic are going to hammer Real Madrid. Why would we say that? Because it's not true. It's like us coming on and saying, Celtic are going to win a European Cup. It's not true. Why would you say it? Who's your tip for the Champions League? Celtic.
Yeah.
We should do that. We should just write down a bit of paper and post it onto social media and give everybody a right good laugh. Because that's what would happen, right? But like I says, I think part of their media commitments and part of their content, it's got to be.
The bit I realise, I know we're keeping short here, mate.
I know what you're saying with the realisation of it, in terms of why has it took so long.
See, when Brendan Rodgers, obviously, I think the predictions were just before he signed, but when he signed, even just before it, right, it doesn't matter who took care of Celtic that season, in my opinion. If Dylas died or whatever, Celtic were still won the league. I'm very confident in that, right? Rangers come up for the championship, didn't spend any money. They bought guys like Clint Hull, who was okay in the past. Cranshaw was very good in the past. Joey Barton came to Rangers. Right? They guys came to Rangers, and guys they were actually, bet my Celtic played in Europe. Celtic still had guys like Scott Brown, they had Armstrong, they still had all the guys, Griffith, etc. Rangers to win the league. That's when I really, honestly, realised, right, what is going on here? Like, how can you tip a team that's just won the championship to come and beat the team that's just won how many leagues in a row and played in Europe? And I might not have done well in Europe, but you've still played at a better level than some of the guys have played the last 2, 3, 4 years. How this is no me and you being Celtic fans here. This is just looking objectively.
Yeah,
how can you then say, a good comment of the party, Bruno Alves as well? Bruno Alves was finished. He was a very good player in the past, by the way.
If you want another one, there's a boy called Cardozo. Cardozo, whatever his name was.
I don't want to keep you too long.
I
don't want to keep you too long, mate. But that's when I realised that there's something no right here. Is it, like you said, is it a wind up? Are they trying to get headlines? Are they trying to get ratings? Are they trying to get I don't know what they're trying to do, because how can you tip Rangers to come up for the championship? They're not going to spend money because I've not had money to spend.
Who's the other boy that had the centre half? Kiernan?
Rob Kiernan, I think. Guys like Sean Goss, he's playing Motherwell. Rangers on loan for QPR. These guys were meant to go and topple Armstrong, McGregor, Brown, Griffiths. I'm
listen. You're also then alluding to a fan base that turned up at games with Warburton's loaf packs and the top of their heads.
Mate, it took
not just that, mate. They sang a song for months about a guy with a magic hat, apparently, and they all turned up with loaf packets on their heads at home games to support a guy who, I don't know, he had some sort of magic hat. He never ever wore it. The only hat I remember seeing him wear was a Dunce's hat after we beat him 5-1 at Celtic Park.
Brilliant, man.
Mate, that's just, you can't get serious. You really can't get serious with him.
But these are guys, this is what I'm saying, but JP, they're getting paid for this. They're getting paid a wage because...
Yeah, definitely.
This is what I'm saying. See, if me and you come on, just say this podcast and we says, start the season, Celtic to win the league by 20 points, Celtic to win the treble, maybe go, well, what are you talking about? Like, that's a bit disrespectful.
Yeah.
See how the one
Giacomakis done it last season, and according to Ryan Jack, he was disrespectful.
See if Rangers come back, right, and they win the league by 3 or 6 points, right? It's not going to happen, right? Say it did. See next year to go, right, Rangers to win the league, I would go, do you know what? Fair enough, because they're the champions.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I can totally understand when Ange first came in, them tipping, because we didn't know what was going to happen. We didn't know, but then after a few weeks, you've seen, right, okay, I think this year will be different. But at the start of this year, anybody to tip Rangers to win the league, I just generally think you were just trying to play up to the band, because you see what Celtic done in two transfer windows. And I believe if I believe if Celtic done that a few weeks beforehand, it would have been more than the ending.
Yeah.
So, and they've carried on for this year, mate. And the last part I'm going to say is some people just really need to start looking at football, not just bias, objectively. Celtic have got a far better squad, far better manager, far better infrastructure, far better everything. As it stands right now, football changes. In 10 years, JP, Rangers could be in the same situation. We can't tell the future. But as it stands right now, every capacity, Celtic are ahead, and that's just no.
Yeah.
But that's just no. That's just no me telling lies. That is the truth. It's facts. It tells you.
Yeah.
So.
No, definitely, mate. But like you says, we've took up everybody's time far too long. But again, thanks everybody that's took the time to come and watch us tonight. We really appreciate it. Few new comments, obviously new people that have appeared on the channel. It's great having you.
Yeah, thank you.
If you do like the content, please hit the wee bell and the subscribe button. It helps us, and it obviously helps yourself to be notified when we are live and the page goes live. Any updates about the page will be put in the community section of the YouTube channel so that you guys know what's coming on. We've got a guest episode coming up on Thursday for us. I'll make that announcement tomorrow of who that's going to be, so stay tuned for that. That'll be getting put in the community section as well. And obviously I'll be back on Friday night again for the goal rush. So I'll see you again then. But the Celtic FC Supporters Foundation, if any of you have not heard us mention this at all before, head over to their Facebook page or their Twitter page. They are running an event on the 6th of May. It's in the Crown Plaza Hotel in Glasgow. It's called Celtic the Seville Way. Am I right here, Ryan? Yeah, is that right? It is, isn't it? The Seville Way.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, it's Celtic's run throughout the season of 2003. Obviously, it doesn't have the ending that we all wanted, but that night, I'm pretty sure it'll be a special night for what the ladies are putting on. The girl in charge of that's a lady called Lisa Miller. If you want to look her up, get in contact with her. She can notify you about tickets. Tickets are £65 per person. Or if you've got a table that you would like to fill, if you can find yourself along with another 9 people, which would make 10 of you, that you can pay £650 for that, and you've got a meal and entertainment all the way through the night, 3-course meal as well. So don't hesitate to head over to the Celtic FC Supporters Foundation, guys, for that. Myself and Ryan, we're on all parts of social media. So TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or you can message us on the YouTube channel. I'll put our Twitter handles up just now for you. If anybody wants to get in contact with us, if you're feeling rubbish, things maybe just not happening for you that day, you want to chat about Celtic or anything else, please get in contact with us. It's better than sitting in silence and feeling that overwhelming feeling that we can all get sometimes if we just feel as if, in that moment we are alone and we don't have anybody to turn to. Myself and Ryan are always available for a chat if anybody needs one. Like I say, Celtic Unrestricted View is on all platforms now. We're in every one of the social media, so you'll get us on anywhere at all. And I've left myself and Ryan's Twitter handle up, guys. So please head over there, give us a wee follow, and get in touch with us. People have already done it, so don't feel as if, I don't know what to do, and people can put off for that, Ryan. But no, anybody that's maybe new as well, and you don't have a Google account, when you hit the subscribe button, it might prompt you to set up a Google account. It's basically just an email address and a wee password that you'll remember as well. And that way you'll be able to, like I says, you'll get notifications when the page goes live or anything that's put in the page, i.e. the community section of the YouTube channel. And therefore you'll be able to receive updates as to what's happening with us. But cheers again, guys, for tuning in on this fine Tuesday night. Massive hail. Myself and Ryan are looking forward to the game tomorrow. I'm going to the game. Ryan, you go?
I'm working, unfortunately. I'm missing it this show. But I'll get to watch it.
Well, I'll be thinking about you when I see Kyogo running through and goal. And it's Zander Clark that'll bring goals. It'll probably not be Big Craig. So Hong Kong Fu, he's not there anymore. He's out injured at the moment. So we wish Craig all the best as well and a speedy recovery. He was our former goalkeeper for a long time. So, but yeah, so I'm looking forward to the game tomorrow myself. But guys, hail, hail, and we will see you again.
Hail, hail, guys. Cheers. A big milestone for the captain as well. Considering obviously where we were a wee while ago, didn't know who the captain was going to be. A few, including myself, wasn't sure about McGregor. I was kind of saying Julian and all that, and you weren't really sure who was going to come in as manager to start off with, and then who would be the captain. Obviously, because let's be fair, anybody who follows Scott Brown, it's always going to be a hard task to follow the way he was as a person, as a player, and as a captain.